Hi, my name's Alyssa with the Walla Walla YMCA Child Development Department, and today I'm going to be reading with you guys Judy Moody Saves the World. I think I read every single Judy Moody book as a kid. They were some of my favorites, so I figured I'd read one for you guys today. Alright, Chapter 1. The Crazy Strips Contest. Judy Moody did not set out to save the world. She set out to win a contest. A Band-Aid contest. Judy snapped open her doctor kit. Where was that box of crazy strips? She lifted out the tiny hammer for testing reflexes. Hey, can I try that? Asked Stink, coming into Judy's room. Stink, didn't you ever hear of going knock knock? Sure, said Stink. Who's there? Not the joke, said Judy. The thing a little brother is supposed to do before entering a big sister's room. You mean I have to tell a joke just to come in your room? Asked Stink. Never mind, said Judy. Never mind who? Asked Stink. Stink, just sit on the bed and cross your legs, said Judy. I'm going to test your reflexes. Please don't do doctor stuff to me, said Stink. Come on, Stink. Judy tapped Stink's knee with the hammer. Stink's foot shot out and kicked her in the leg. Hey, Stink, said Judy. You kicked me. What do you think you are, a cassowary? A what-a-wary? Cassowary. I learned it in science. It's a rainforest bird that can't fly, so it kicks its enemies. I'm not a casso-whatever, said Stink. I just have really good reflexes. Judy flashed her best anaconda eyes at Stink. Forget it, she said, putting the hammer away. Stink reached into Judy's doctor kit and pulled out the crazy strips. Stink, I told you not to steal my crazy strips. Now this box is empty, as in all gone. I told you I'd put your arm in a sling if you didn't stop stealing my stuff. Stink did not want his arm in a sling again, especially when it wasn't broken. Give it, said Judy, taking the box back from Stink. I want to read about the contest. Contest, asked Stink. What do we have to do? Judy read the box. Crazy Strip's 5th annual Design Your Own Bandage contest. Create your own crazy strip. Draw with pencils, crayons, or markers. Think of a theme, go wild with a style, be outrageous, be you. You mean we have to draw something to go on a crazy strip? Asked Stink. What do we win? It's the crazy strip box. Judy read on. 13 top designers will be chosen to be printed on crazy strips. Just think, kids all across the country could be wearing your creative, colorful, crazy strip. Is that all? Asked Stink. Rare, said Judy. I, Judy Moody, could have my own crazy strip. They have to let you win something, said Stink, grabbing the box from Judy. Just think, knees, elbows, ankles, everywhere will be wearing Judy Moody original. Even Elizabeth Blackwell, first woman doctor, didn't have her own crazy strip. Oh, brother, said Stink. Before you get too famous, can I use some of your skinny markers? What for? Asked Judy. I want to draw a crazy strip too. It says here the grand prize is a pair of rollerblades. Rollerblades? Let me see that. Top winner. Crazy strip of the year. Rollerblades plus your design printed on a crazy strip for 1 year. Runner-up. Crazy strip of the month. Crazy strip sunglasses plus your design printed on a crazy strip for 1 month. All participants receive honorable mention certificates. Dream on, Stink. Only one kid in the whole United States of America gets rollerblades. So look at some of the kids who won last year. They're 10 years old, 11. One is even 13. That's a teenager. You're only 7. And a quarter, said Stink. You'd have to be Picasso for them to pick your design, she said. Who? You know, the guy who painted all those blue people. Then let me borrow your blue marker, said Stink. Judy dumped all the markers, crayons, colored pencils, and pastels she had on the floor. Stink grabbed the first blue marker he saw and started to draw. What are you drawing? Bats, said Stink. Blue bats. Your bats, said Judy. People don't like bats. But bats eat millions of insects, said Stink. People should like bats. I know that, said Judy. I'm just saying, bats are not going to be a teenager. Stink kept right on coloring bats. Your bats have huge ears, she added. They're Virginia big-eared bats. Oh, said Judy. Stink was a good artist, but Judy didn't want him thinking he was a genius or anything. She had to dream up a big-as Picasso idea. Better than ucky old bats. Better than a teenager. She wanted her Judy Moody crazy strips to be seen all across the USA, the world, the universe. Stink, stop squeaking, said Judy. It's the magic markers. I can't think with all that squeaking, Judy said. Judy studied some of the other winners in the box from last year. There were ladybugs, flowers, soccer balls, rainbows, and peace signs. Happy, happy, happy. Judy tried to think of something happy to draw on her crazy strip. She drew smiley faces. Yellow, red, blue, green, and purple smiley faces. Underneath, she wrote, "Crazy strips cure bad moods." Everybody draws smiley faces, said Stink. Who? Asked Judy. Heather Strong, in my class, and teenagers. Stink was right. Smiley faces were not good enough to decorate the ankles of millions. Smiley faces were not good enough to win rollerblades. Smiley faces were not Picasso. Judy turned her crazy strip upside down. The smiley faces turned into bad mood faces. Nobody wants a cranky crazy strip, Stink said. Roar, said Judy. They like it if you have a message, said Stink, but I can't think of a message about bats. How about, Batty for Band-Aids? That's good, said Stink, thanks. Stink was already done with his crazy strip, and Judy did not have a single idea, not one inspiration. Okay, let's go mail this, said Stink. Fresh air, that was it. Maybe Judy's brain just needed some good old-fashioned oxygen. On the way to the mailbox, Stink asked, "Do you think I'll win?" "What am I, a crystal ball?" asked Judy. Here's Stink's crazy strip design. How long do you think it takes? Asked Stink, dropping the envelope into the big blue box. Longer than 1 second, said Judy. On the way home, Judy gulped in fresh air. You look like a goldfish in a toilet, said Stink. It was no use. Fresh air was not helping. Fresh air just made her look like a toilet fish. Stink's crazy strip was already in the mail. What if Stink won the contest? What if she could never ever even come up with an idea? She, Judy Moody, was in a mood. Chapter 2, Batty for Banana Peels. All day Saturday and all day Sunday, Judy could not think up one single creative, award-winning crazy strip idea. On Monday morning, as soon as she got to the bus stop, Judy told her best friend Rocky about the contest. Help me think of an idea. I know, said Rocky. How about a disappearing one? You put it on your arm, only it's clear, so it's invisible. Rare, said Judy. A disappearing crazy strip. That's good. How are you going to win the contest if they can't even see it? Asked Stink. Good point, said Judy, thinking it over. I want the world to be able to see my grand prize-winning Judy Moody crazy strip. Oh, here's her and her friend Rocky. At school, Judy was dying to ask Frank Pearl if he had any ideas, but the bell had already rung, and she could not risk getting another white card for talking. She already had to stay after school once to clean the fish tank with Mr. Todd for getting 3 white cards. A person could only clean so many stinky fish tanks. So she wrote a note about the contest to pass to Frank instead. At the bottom, she wrote, P.S. Don't let Jessica Finch see this. Science, everybody, said Mr. Todd. Let's continue our discussion of the environment. Rainforests everywhere are being cut down. When you take medicine, or bounce a ball, or pop a balloon, you're using something that came from the rainforest. And right here at home, malls are replacing trees, animals are disappearing, and we're running out of place to put all of our trash. Today, let's come up with ways that we can help save the earth. Sometimes it's good to start small, so think of ways you can help out at home. In our own families, at school. Any ideas? Don't leave lights on, said Haley. Recycle your homework, said Frank. And cans and bottles and stuff, said Leo. Turn garbage into dirt, said Rocky. Yes, said Mr. Todd, that's called composting. Judy raised her hand, knocking her note to the floor. Plant trees. Don't be litter bugs, said Jessica Finch. I wasn't littering, said Judy, picking up the note. She crossed out the Finch in Jessica's name and changed it to Jessica Fink. Sheesh. Sometimes Jessica Fink Finch gave her the jitterbugs. Great, said Mr. Todd. These are all good ideas. Look around you, at home, in school, on the playground, not just in the science class. How can we help the planet? How can we make sure the world around us is a better place? We can each do our part. All it takes is one person to make a difference. One person? If all it took was one person, then she, Judy Moody, could save the world. If she knew where to start, it was with a banana peel. On the way home from school that afternoon, Judy asked Rocky, "Hey, can you come over and eat some bananas?" "Sure," said Rocky. "What for?" "Compost." "I'll eat 2, he said. In Judy's kitchen, Judy and Rocky each ate 1.5 bananas. They fed the 4th and last one to Mouse, Judy's cat. Then Judy tossed all 4 banana peels into a bucket. "Why don't we make a sign for the bucket that says, 'Turn garbage into dirt,'" said Rocky. Here's Mouse in the compost bucket. "Rare," said Judy. "Tomorrow we can tell Mr. Todd about how we started to heal the world." "Double cool," said Rocky. "Wait just a minute," said Judy. "Why didn't I think of this before? Heal the world, that's it." "What's it?" "My Band-Aid for the Crazy Strips contest. You'll see." Judy ran upstairs and came back with markers and some paper. At the kitchen table, Rocky made a sign for the compost bucket while Judy drew a picture of the earth with a Band-Aid on it. She wrote "Heal the World" onto the globe and in her best, not in cursive letters. There, she drew banana peels all around the world. Stink came into the kitchen. "What are you drawing?" he asked Judy. "Banana peels," said Judy. "For the Crazy Strip contest," Rocky said. And you thought bats were weird," said Stink. "Bats aren't half as crazy as banana peels." He looked at the empty bowl on the table. "Hey, who ate the last banana?" "Mouse," said Judy. Judy and Rocky fell over laughing. "No way," said Stink. "Just look at her whiskers," said Judy. Stink got on the floor, face to face with the cat. "Gross. Mouse has banana smush in her whiskers." "Told you," said Judy. "I'm telling Mom you ate all the bananas," said Stink. "And you fed one to Mouse." "Tell her it's all in the name of science," said Judy. "You'll see. From now on, there are going to be a few changes around here." "We're making compost," said Rocky. "See?" He held up his sign. "It takes like 100 years to turn garbage into dirt," said Stink. "Stink, you're going to be dirt, unless you make like a tree and leave us alone." Oh, here. There he is. Banana and the whiskers of the cat. All right. Chapter 3. A Mr. Rubbish Mood. It was still dark out when Judy woke up early the next morning. She found her flashlight and notebook. Then she tiptoed downstairs to the kitchen and started to save the world. She hoped she could save the world before breakfast. Judy wondered if other people making the world a better place had to do it quietly and in the dark so their parents would not wake up. It's her sneaking around. She, Judy Moody, was in a Mr. Rubbish mood. Mr. Rubbish was the good garbage gremlin in Stink's comic book who built his house out of French fry cartons, pop bottles, and everything. He recycled everything, even lollipop sticks. And he never used anything from the rainforest. Things that came from the rainforest. That would be a good place to start. Rubber came from the rainforest, and chocolate and spices and things like perfume. Even chewing gum. Judy collected stuff from around the house and piled it on the kitchen table. Chocolate bars, brownie mix, vanilla ice cream, her dad's coffee beans, the rubber toilet plunger, gum from Stink's gumball machine, her mom's lipstick from the bottom of her purse. She was so busy saving the rainforest that she didn't hear her family come into the kitchen. "What in the world?" said her mom. "Judy, why are you in the dark?" Dad asked, turning on the lights. "Hey, my gumball machine," Stink said. Judy held out her arms to block the way. "We're not going to use this stuff anymore. It's all from the rainforest," she told them. "Says who?" asked Stink. "Says Mr. Rubbish and Mr. Todd. They cut down way too many trees to grow coffee and give us makeup and chewing gum." The stuff that she put on the table. "Mr. Todd says the earth is our home and we have to take action to save it. We don't need all this stuff." "I need gum," yelled Stink. "I need to give me back my gum." "Stink, don't yell. Haven't you ever heard of noise pollution?" "Is my coffee in there?" Dad asked, rubbing his hair. Judy, is that ice cream? It's dripping all over the table, Mom cried, and carried the leaky carton over to the sink. Zzz made the sound of a chainsaw cutting down trees. She's batty, Stink said. Dad put the brownie mix back in the cupboard. Mom took the toilet plunger off the kitchen table and headed for the bathroom. Time for Plan B. Project RECYCLE. Recycle. She, Judy Moody, would show her family just how much they hurt the planet. Every time someone threw something away, she would write it down. She got her notebook and looked in the trash. She wrote down 1 orange juice can, 1 inside of peanut butter jar lid, 1 plastic bread bag, 4 broken eggshells, smelly, yucky, wet coffee grounds, 3 paper muffin holders, 2 smushed Scarlet Oat cherry juice boxes, and straws, half bowl of oatmeal. Stink, you shouldn't throw gooey old oatmeal in the trash, Judy said. Dad, tell her to quit spying on me. I'm a garbage detective, said Judy. Garbologist. To you, Mr. Todd says if you want to learn what to recycle, you have to get to know your garbage. Here, said Stink, sticking something wet and mushy under Judy's nose. Get to know my apple core. Hardy har har, said Judy. Hasn't anybody in this family ever heard of the 3 R's? The 3 R's, asked Dad. Reuse, recycle. What's the 3rd one, asked Stink. Refuse to talk to little brothers until they quit throwing stuff away. Mom, I'm not going to stop throwing stuff away just because Judy's having a trash attack. Look at all this stuff we throw away, Judy said. Did you know that one person throws away more than 8 pounds of garbage a day? We recycle all of our glass and cans, said Mom. And newspaper, Dad said. But what about this? Judy picked up a plastic bag out of the trash. This bread bag could be a purse or carry a library book. What's so great about eggshells? Asked Stink. And smelly old coffee grounds. You can use them to feed plants or make compost. Just then, something in the trash caught her eye. A pile of popsicle sticks. Judy pulled it out. Hey, my Laura Ingalls Wilder log cabin I made in 2nd grade. It looks like a glue museum to me, said Stink. I'm sorry, Judy, Mom said. I should have asked you first, but we can't save everything, honey. Recycle it, said Stink. You could use it for kindling, to start a fire, or break it down into toothpicks. Not funny, Stink. Judy, you're not even ready for school yet. Let's talk about this later, said Dad. It's time to get dressed. It was no use. Nobody listened to her. Judy trudged upstairs, feeling like a sloth without a tree. I won't wear lipstick today if it'll make you feel any better, Mom called up the stairs. And I'll only drink half a cup of coffee, Dad said, but Judy could hardly hear him over the grinding of the rainforest beans. Her family sure knew how to ruin a perfectly good Mr. Rubbish mood. She put on her jeans and her spotted owl t-shirt. And to save water, she did not brush her teeth. She clomped downstairs in a mad at your whole family mood. Here's your lunch, said Mom. Mom, it's in a paper bag. What's wrong with that? Asked Stink. Don't you get it? Said Judy. They cut down trees to make paper bags. Trees give shade. They help control global warming. We would die without trees. They make oxygen and help take dust and stuff out of the air. Dust, said Mom. Let's talk about cleaning your room if we're going to talk about dust. Mom, how was she supposed to do important things like save the trees if she couldn't even save her family tree? That did it. Judy went straight to the garbage and dug out her Sleeping Beauty lunchbox from kindergarten. Are you really going to take that baby lunchbox on the bus, where the whole world can see it? Asked Stink. I'm riding my bike today, said Judy, to save energy. See you at school then. Stink waved his paper bag lunch at her. If only she could recycle her little brother. Go ahead, be a tree hater, called Judy. It's your funeral. Making the world a better place sure was complicated. Chapter 4. Pigtoes, pumas, and pimplebacks. At school, Judy wiggled all during math in the morning. She squirmed through spelling And at last it was science. Over half the world's plants and animals are found in the rainforests, Mr. Todd said, which is why it's so important to protect the rainforests. The health of our whole planet depends on it. But did you know that there are endangered species right here in Virginia? Endangered species? Right here in Virginia? Judy leaned forward in her chair. If we want to take care of our planet, it helps to begin in our own backyard. That's why I'm asking each of you to adopt an endangered animal from Virginia this week. Tell us about the species, why it's disappearing, and what can be done to help. Adopt an animal? She could help an endangered species. She, Judy Moody, could save the entire state of Virginia. Mr. Todd was shaking a coffee can. Each slip of paper has the name of an endangered animal on it. When I call you up, come up here and take one slip out from the can. Who wants to be first? All hands went up in the air. Rocky. Shenandoah salamander, said Rocky, reading his slip of paper. Frank Pearl. Monkey face mussel. Rare. Judy waved her hand in the air like a flag. Mr. Todd still did not call on her. Brad got the bald eagle. Haley got the puma. Randy got the leatherback sea turtle. Jessica Finch. Shiny pig toe, said Jessica. Yippee. Judy could not think of anybody else who would want to adopt a pig's toe. Only Jessica Finch. Jessica Finch liked everything about pigs, even shiny pig's toes. While Mr. Todd called out more names, Judy turned around and said to Jessica, real quick, raising her hand. Judy turned around and said to Jessica, a shiny pig toe is a pig with nail polish. She cracked herself up. Judy Moody. Judy turned around and her hand was the only one still left in the air. One left, said Mr. Todd. Come on up. Finally, Judy unfolded the small slip of paper. Northeast beach tiger beetle, she read. Northeast beach tiger beetle. A northeast beach tiger beetle was not even an animal. It was a bug. An ickety, crickety, old, creepy crawly. We don't like ours. Can we trade? Judy asked. If we don't like ours, can we trade? Judy asked. I'd like everybody to stick with their choices, said Mr. Todd. What if we never even heard of it? What if we don't even know what it looks like? Said Judy. That's the fun of it, said Mr. Todd. Find out. Go to the library and look at books and magazines, or search the web at the computer lab. And this Thursday, we'll be taking a class field trip to the museum, which should have information on all of your adopted animals. Big museum or little museum? Asked Frank. Little, said Mr. Todd. The class groaned. The big museum meant the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., or the one with all the planes. The little museum meant the Science Museum down the street. It had toy trains, plastic dinosaurs, and 100-year-old pictures of Virginia stuff. The best exhibit there is cobwebs, said Rocky. All right. When Thursday came, Judy wore her tiger-striped pajama pants to school in honor of the tiger beetle. At the museum, Mr. Todd introduced the class to the museum lady. This is Mrs. Stickley. She's going to tell us about the endangered species in Virginia. Mrs. Stickley looked like a stick bug. Even her socks were brown. Call me Stephanie, said Mrs. Stickbug. Class, said Mr. Todd, I expect you to give Stephanie your best third grade listening ears. Frank pretended to take off his ears and then handed them to her. Judy cracked up. Mrs. Stephanie Stickbug took them on a tour of where the wild things aren't. She showed them a real live Shenandoah salamander, a Virginia fringed mountain snail that looked extremely sluggy, and a stuffed flying squirrel glued to a board. A flying squirrel! Is his name Rocky? Like in Rocky and Bullwinkle? Asked Frank. Yes, said Mrs. Stickbug. As a matter of fact, it is. His name is Rocky too, said Frank, pointing at Rocky. Hey Rocky, you're a squirrel. And you're Bullwinkle, said Rocky. You're a moose. Ha! Judy was dying to ask Miss Stickbug hold on, we got a picture. Was dying to ask Miss Stickbug a question. She raised her hand, holding it as straight as a short-nosed sturgeon. At last, Stephanie called on her. Do you have a northeast beach? Wait. At last, Stephanie called on her. Do you have any northeast beach tiger beetles? Asked Judy. No, I'm sorry, we don't, said Stephanie. Those are endangered in Virginia, and that would be a good specimen for our collection. What kind of endangered species museum did not have any northeast beach tiger beetles? Do you have any cave isopods? Asked Jessica Smarty Pants Finch. What's an isopod? Asked Rocky. An isopod is a crustacean like a soap bug, answered Stephanie. Think of it like a pill bug or a woodlouse. You'll find those in Arachnid Hall. Ick, a louse is lice, said Rocky. Judy still couldn't see why they didn't have any northeast beach tiger beetles. After all, they had a bunch of creepy crustaceans, lacey isopods, and pill-buggy pests. Judy raised her hand again. She wanted to sound as smart as Jessica Finch. Excuse me, she said. Do you have any two-toed sloths here? Tropical tree hoppers? Nocturnal eye-eyes? We don't have any rainforest exhibit, said Mrs. Stickbug. But that is a great idea. Maybe someday. The whole class got to touch an orange-foot pimpleback pearly mussel shell and hear a story about a dismal swamp shrew. Everything in this whole place is endangered, said Frank. My grade in science is endangered too, said Judy. How much farther we got? All right, one more. Next chapter is Beetle Emergency. The very next morning, Judy started her own search for a real live northeast beach tiger beetle. Before school, she grabbed a peanut butter jar from the recycling bin and ran out into the backyard. She tapped on a tree branch. She crawled through itchy grass and she peered down into the dirt. Here, Beetle Beetle, called Judy. Don't be endangered. She did not find one single beetle. All she found was an acorn hat, a slug, and a not recycled candy wrapper. Judy, called her dad, what are you doing out there in your pajamas? Looking for a northeast beach tiger beetle, she said. They're endangered. Mr. Todd says saving endangered species begins in your own backyard, said Judy. Not before breakfast in your pajamas, said Dad. All the beetles are still sleeping. At school that day, Judy searched for a picture of her beetle and a few facts. She looked in the dictionary. She looked in the encyclopedia. She looked in bug books. She even looked on the computer. No luck. Most of the beetles in the computer were the John Lennon and Paul McCartney kind of beetles. The next day was Saturday. Frank Pearl called Judy. Can I come over? Not unless you bring a northeast beach tiger beetle with you. Okay, said Frank. You found one? Judy asked. For real? Not a live one, but I found a picture of one. Do you have any stamps at your house? Asked Frank. What's stamps got to do with anything? Just go see if you have any stamps with bugs. Judy put down the phone and ran to find some stamps in her parents' desk. Just boring old flags, she told Frank. Well, I have gazillions of stamps, and how come you have so many stamps? I collect them. I was pasting some in my album when I saw your beetle on one of the stamps. Bring it over right away, she said. Tell your mom it's an emergency. Half an hour later, Frank rang the doorbell. Finally, said Judy, pulling him into the living room. Frank put his stamp album on the coffee table and opened it up. He turned to the insect and spider page. Look at all the beetles, said Frank. That's a lady beetle. Those are good luck. And there's a dung beetle, a Hercules beetle, and a spotted water beetle, even an elderberry longhorn beetle. Which one is it? Judy shrieked. Frank pointed to a beetle with a shiny green head and eyes like an alien. Printed below the beetle, it said Cinderella dorsalis. Okay. That's not a northeast beach tiger beetle, said Judy. It's some kind of Cinderella beetle. It's Latin, said Frank. Latin? Don't they have any beetles that speak English? Read what it says underneath. Northeast beach tiger beetle. Found along sandy beaches in the Chesapeake Bay areas of Virginia. endangered by changes in habitat, human pollution, shoreline development, and erosion. My beetle's a beach bum. Thanks a million gazillion, Frank. Now I can work on my report. First, I'll draw a picture for the cover. Want some help? Asked Frank. Sure, said Judy. You can put the caps back on the markers. Judy drew many-legged northeast beach tiger beetles all over the cover of her report. Make sure they have biting mouth parts, said Frank, and wings. Oh yeah, said Judy. Can I help color them in? Asked Frank. Okay, thanks, said Judy. Did you already draw your cover for the monkey face mussel? Yeah, said Frank. It's a seashell with bumps on it that looks like a monkey's face. No lie, you can see eyes and ears and everything. I've got to see that, said Judy. She printed the title of her report in all capitals. Save the Northeast Beach Tiger Beetle. Rare, said Judy. Double cool, said Frank. Just as she finished her cover, Stink came into the room and looked at Judy's drawing. Why did you draw fat flying footballs all over your report? All right, we'll stop it there for today. Thanks for reading with me, and we will finish this on another day.